Hey there folks, this is Rainiac, bringing you an LP of the NES game Kickmaster. Wait a minute, this doesn't seem right somehow. Ah, that's more like it. Right, well as I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted before, welcome to Let's Play Kickmaster, a 1991 NES game made by Taito, the creators of Bubble Bobble and the Legacy of Cage. And just like every other great NES game before it, Kickmaster starts off with the kidnap of a beautiful damsel in distress. In this case, it's the lovely Princess Sylphie of Laurel. As you can see by the handy illustration, she's been kidnapped by a great big hulking demon who was sent by the evil sorcerers Belzed, and the only two guys that can help her are Macren and his younger brother Thonolan. Quite clearly the makers of Kickmaster were hoping to win the most ridiculous names to hear in a video game award 10 years down the line or something. Because come on, this is just ridiculous. I'm all for originality, but this is just stupid. If a guy came up to you tomorrow and said, "Hi, my name's Thonolan," you wouldn't say hello to him, would you? No, you'd jump up and kick his teeth down his throat for having such a stupid name. Whatever. Can we just start the game, please? Now, one other thing that's worth noting here is that the story in the game manual actually differs somewhat from the story presented here in the game itself. In the manual, Sylphie is Macren and Thonolan's sister. And I can't help it, guys, but I always get a kick out of this little touching little scene that's coming up. If you don't laugh at this even slightly, then you're not human in my book. The dialogue is just so half-assed and ridiculous. This is a full armoured knight with a sword. He cannot kill skeletons and just got wiped out by one of them. We are a guy who has bare feet, no facial hair, and all he can do is kick. And we are expected to somehow massacre an army of advancing skeletons. Quite simply, ladies and gentlemen, we are fucked. On a scale of 1 to 10 of how fucked we are, we're at 11. Right, so basic gameplay mechanics. You play as Thonolan, and at the start of the game, all you can do really is kick. Up and B does a vertical press kick, B on its own will do a normal kick, and down and B will unleash a crouching kick, which is quite good for killing enemies that are low to the ground. Every time you kill an enemy in this game, they will explode open like a piñata, leaving behind items that you can jump up and collect. Each item in this game corresponds to a different meter on the screen, with one or two little exceptions that I'll get to later. The most important of these meters is the experience meter, represented by EX, in the lower left hand corner of the screen. Now you can increase your experience by grabbing tankards, coins and shields that pop out of certain enemies, and your experience goes up in multiples of 1,000. Every time you get past 1,000 in experience, you will level up, be rewarded with access to a new kick, an extra bar of life, and 100 points more magic, which is always good in this game. You want to level up as soon as you can, really. You always go for the experience if you can afford to. In this chest is the first of 12 magic spells you can collect throughout the game. Some are optional, like this one, some are not, and I do intend to collect and use all 12 of these spells at least once during the course of the LP. So the first magical spell that we can collect is represented by this green flame icon. It's the bouncing bulb, and it's basically a projectile. It's a magical blast. It can be directed in much the same way as the kicks. You can pretty much just watch the footage here and figure out what you have to press for each direction of magical blast. The little blue ball is a nice touch. It shows you where your shot's going to aim, really. It also shows enemies you've got this spell equipped and they're going to completely rape the shit out of you, which is considerate of them. And coming up, you're about to see me collect the worst power-up in the game. The Skull and Crossbones, which will, unlike the heart which will heal you, the Skull and Crossbones will actually damage you. It's kind of a final fuck you from enemies that you've killed. And depending on how lucky you are, because the items in this game generate randomly, you can get 1 or 2 in the stage, none, or 5 or 6 like I did. Seriously, I cannot remember getting this many Skull and Crossbones in the playthrough of stage 1 before. But it adds to the LP, I guess. And that was a skill kick right there. I did not think I'd be able to get to him. Killing these lizard men is about to net me my first level up of the game, which goes to my first acquired kick of the game, the knee drop, done by pressing down and B. But I'll show it you in level 2 because here comes the boss! So our first boss is a skeleton witch, and she's absolutely pathetic, quite frankly. Her first line of defense involves summoning these little armadillo soldiers to attack you for her, but they're pathetic and she's pathetic. The armadillo soldiers die in one hit. She has the secondary attack where she'll drop magical arrows to the ground, but they're so easy to dodge. If she does that attack uninterrupted, she'll summon more armadillo soldiers, but this is a cakewalk. An absolute cakewalk. In fact, the only good thing about this boss is the reward she leaves behind for defeating her. Oh yeah, baby! Health restoration! That's going to be a lifesaver later on, let me tell you. And with this completely unnecessarily complicated password that's impossible to remember, that's going to end video 1 of Let's Play Kickmaster. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me next time for stage 2 where we enter the caverns. So don't forget to bring a flashlight. Bye bye.